it's not working the way I want it to at all. Maybe it will work better down here so I can see it. All right, that's good. All right, cheers, my babies. Cheers. I know it's early in the day, but cheers. I should try and get accustomed to like inviting people, but I throw it up on my Facebook and I tell you guys pretty much when I'm coming around. So I know everybody has schedules and stuff, so whoever doesn't get here is okay, because they'll do a replay later. I need some agua. Okay. I'm getting more relaxed by the day, peoples. I'm getting more relaxed by the day. Just getting to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm just going to do cannabis. That is just making everything so much easier. That was a nice hit. I just did a nice, good long time. All right, my babies. Let's get to it. All right, my child won't be home until 5:30. So I may have a little barking. I don't know what they're barking. I think the neighbor is coming back. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is growing marijuana. Now, I am not responsible for anything you do in your home, in your yard, in your state, whatever it is. Okay? This is just my opinion on how to grow. I'm not like what you would consider professional, or maybe you would. Maybe you would. Well, I guess to somebody I would be professional, but like I don't grow in some like major garden somewhere for business like that. Okay. First things you need to decide is what's your legal issue with your state and how to deal with that. What are your consequences if it's illegal? Now, if you have the option to be able to grow as a sick person, I think that you should always take advantage of that so that you have control over your medicine and what your dosing is and what because we have to learn with the marijuana. So essentially you have to learn, and then once you know what plants that you prefer and the values of it, then it's easier to, I always have a fly on camera. Do you think that they have like a little fly hood and they go over like, listen, she's over there doing live today. You need to go over and represent. So go fly by her head. Just represent. Just represent us flies, man. Go and do it. Just make a quick run through and then maybe hang around a little bit on the side. I don't know. This is always here. Hi, Irene. How are you? Okay, so you want to look at what your legalities are. Okay, if you have a legal state, then see what the requirements are for them. Flyhood is right. You want to see what your requirements are for your legal, and if you're doing it illegally, you need to figure out how you're going to conceal it, essentially. Okay? Now, once you've done that, once you've gone through the laws and figured out, and then also, figured out your legal law, figured out your illegal law, figured out what you could be standing up against in both situations. Once you've gone and figured that out and you've gotten to the point, now we're at the point, you went through your legalities, you've decided on whether or not you're going to do it. We're at now the point you've decided. Now you're going to grow. The next thing we're going to do is decide whether we're going to be an outdoor grower or an indoor grower and where we live. Okay? If you live in a southern state, outdoor growing is very, very different from indoor growing. You have to plant them like the 1st of July and June, and then let them grow, and usually like September, October, everything's ready to go. Now, I don't really know what you guys do in the southern states for that. When you have more reasonable weather, or someone who does have more reasonable weather, I don't really know about that. And I'll explain why in a minute. Okay, so now the next thing you're going to decide on is whether you're going to do outdoor or indoor. Okay? So we're going to go on indoor. We're just going to go that way because planting outdoors, if you can get the 1st of June, and then everything else will mix in later. But I think you guys need more information for the indoors more than you do on the outdoors. So I'm going to head in that little bit of a direction. So the next thing we need to decide is what you would like to grow. I know this seems like it's long, tedious, and just a whole lot of to do about this, but trust me, hey Sandra, in the end, you will be thankful that we did go through this process. Okay, so now we're going to decide. So now we've decided we're going to do indoor. Okay, now we're going to decide whether what, hey Lolo, what strains we would like to grow. Okay, so we can figure out where we're going to indoor put this. Okay, you have to have a relevant idea of maybe where you could put something, but make you understand that you could almost make something in a cabinet and it would be all right. We just have to one step at a time. I want to tell you everything all at one time. I just want to go bleh, and you have all the information but it's so much. I gotta have me a smoke during this, guys. Good for you, Sandra. I know mine is 300. Hey, John. Mine is $335 a year. And I don't even freaking buy from the damn dispensary. Just saying. All right, so now we're going to decide on what strains. Okay, because that's going to really... If you're someone who needs a sativa strain, which is a daytime strain... is the daytime strain. No, now I gotta be now I'm really teaching you guys, so I really should have the right words, shouldn't I? I'm a little bit embarrassed right now, but, okay. We have sativa, hybrid, and indica. A hybrid could be anything from 90-20 to 80-20. Sativa's for daytime, indica's for nighttime. Sativa gives more of a speedy, energetic type of thing. Indica gives more on the couch and that type of thing. So, and indica is more on the pain scale, and the sativa is more on the anxiety scale. So, if you're gonna have a sativa, sativas grow tall. Okay, they can grow up to like 7, 8, 10 feet if you give it to them. And if you really work your magic on it, you can almost get everything to go pretty tall, but always the sativa is going to outgrow the indica. Indica is going to be short, stubby, fat, have humongous leaves. Sativa is going to be long and lankly, very thin leaves. If you know anything about gardening, a sativa plant is going to look more like a tomato plant, and I am so glad too, Sandra. A sativa is going to be more lengthy and like a tomato plant, and an indica is going to be more like Black Beauty eggplant that's going to be lower to the ground, more fluffy. Okay, where's my lighter? In my lap. All right, so when growing, later on, we're going to go through this. You almost can grow either in the house as long as you train your plants, and that will come later, okay, my friends? So we're just in the beginning of deciding what we're going to grow. Okay, we can manage it, but sativas generally like to be tall. They're gonna yield to you better if they meet their height requirement. You can like cut it down 2 or 3 feet, but that's about it. So if you want to look somewhere in your environment that you're going to be able to fit a plant, and the lights that need to go over those plants, so you're going to need an area that has maybe like an 8-foot ceiling. That's where you're going to go with it, because you don't want to try and let them grow any more than 6 feet. And indicas generally will not grow to 6 feet. They stay more like my indicas. What do I have that's indica right now? My indicas are real short, actually. They're probably like, I'm 5'2", so they're probably around here, but that's in a 5-gallon tub. Okay, so now we're at the point we've decided what kind of plants we're going to make. Okay, so we're going to get on the internet. After this, we've decided we have the room for a big one. We have the room for a small one. You're going to decide. There are cabinets and things of all sorts to put your plants and hide them and do all the necessaries. Okay, I'm going to get to that. I promise you. I just can't give it to you all at one time. So next thing I'm going to do is you've gotten your place. You've said, all right, this is where I can do it, whether it be a closet, an old bathroom, or the bathroom for that matter, a spare room, a tent that you buy online, which I will also give you information for. There are cabinets that you can buy, all sorts of cabinets that look like refrigerators and look like ovens and look like cabinets and look like nothing. Look like a freaking table that you can grow cannabis in, where you can grow cannabis plants like this big and have a yield that's good enough for you. Okay, so there's those things everywhere, and I swear I will go into it. But we're at the very beginning, okay? We're just deciding what we're growing. Now we've decided, all right, we found a place in our house. Now, you can use a closet. A closet. Hey, Star. Hey, Jeanette. For that matter. You would not believe the setups that you can make up in your house. Okay, but you have to really decide what's good for what plant is good for your body, because we're talking, here I am talking about when you're doing it as a sick person, and you're gonna have to work for this. It's not even like there's actual work, serious work behind this, that people's is so neglective. And I know you guys know me for saying, like, if your dealer gives you this, that it's bad. All right, so we've decided what strain, we decided what our breeds are going to be, okay? And we've decided, we found a place in our house that will efficiently house this plant, okay? The next thing that you're going to do is get online and find your seeds. Okay, I did put up a link to a particular seed bank on my Facebook. They allow you to order by the one, which is great. Okay, that's just absolutely fantastic. Don't just get one. I just had my friend here the other day who was like, I did 12 and I have 3 that are living. And I'm like, why didn't you call me? Why did you do that? And then gave her a really, really hard time. And now I'm just going to go over there and make sure everything's all right. She actually did, she like perfectly aligned it for herself. Okay, so now we're going to get online, right? And we're going to go online, and this is what you're going to do. For a beginner, the best thing that you could probably do for yourself is get an auto flower of whatever strain it is that you're looking for. And the reason why it's the best to get the auto flower in the beginners is because all you have to do is put that plant somewhere where there's 18 hours of light and 6 hours of darkness, and you're good to go. That's it. Really, you put it in some soil, you get that sucker to come up, and you just keep it from 18 to 6 till it's done, and it's usually done in 8 weeks, and that's it, it's over. Okay? You can kind of get an auto plant to work fertilizer with it, but it's very tricky and there's way more into it. So the best advice I can give you on that is, when you're first trying it, you get auto seeds. Going to be auto flower seeds in the strain in which you would like to have. Auto seeds, you do not train auto plants. Okay, the auto seed and auto flowers, they're essentially called. You do not train them. Okay, you just let them grow. Training is something that you want to learn, maybe, because an auto flower will just do its business from 0 to 8 weeks. You can put it in a good, just fertilizer, like Miracle Grow that has the fertilizer in it for 3 to 4 months, and let it ride in your area which you have chosen to grow it in. Okay? And that's for the first one. It's simple. What is the best strain for managing pain? Debbie, there are 500,000 strains of marijuana. For me personally, I like Granddaddy Purple. I like White Widow. I like Platinum OG, Critical Cheese. Peyote Cookie is good. Northern Lights is great for pain. Let's see, what are the Crown Royal, but that's specific to a specific company. Companies will have their own breeds, their own strains. So you really gotta, if you're guessing on it, you can try and go with a purple strain. Hey, Lisa. Yes, you could definitely, and it's so funny that you're saying at the same time that it popped up on my screen. You can go with Granddaddy Purple, Purple Kush. Any of the criticals are good. Kushes. Vanilla Kush is actually pretty good. What other strains have I had over the time? But my favorites are, I like Chem Dog as well. THC Pro I like. I think my favorite is though like, come on brain. Critical Cheese. And bubblegum. I haven't had bubblegum in a real super long time. Blue Dream, and yo, I'm getting the my girl sent me, she was gonna bring the seeds over today, but instead she couldn't, so they're gonna be dropped off. But I'm getting, it's in my phone. I'm getting Blue Dream and two other strains that one I think was a sativa and one I wasn't sure about, and I think it was like Afghan and something, and I don't really remember. But she's sending me 20 of them, but 3 different breeds, so I don't know whether they're male or female. Okay, so here we are now. Okay, we're at the point where we've gone into our, we're going to get there, Lisa. Oh, sorry, you're asking me. I use dirt. Yeah, that's the best way. Hey, Juan. All right, so, yeah, like, if I think of any strains as we're going, I'll let you know. And I had like a whole list of ones that I was buying from the link that I put in. And that link has nothing to do with me. I just went on there and I didn't even log into my account, honestly, and put a code in or anything. So maybe wait and let me see if there's a code. I think there's a 10% code. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, 10 or 20% when I refer to you guys get. I don't really know. I didn't even think that far. I just said, oh, let me go and check to see. And on the bottom of their website, it has Facebook. So I said, oh, good, they have Facebook. That means I can put this on Facebook. So then I went and I put it up. Okay, so now, when it comes down to, now we're getting online, okay, we're going to decide, we've decided on what strains, we're going to get online, we're going to decide the strains. Now, there's going to be a lot of strains, okay, guys, like from various different companies, all different, in this particular site that I put on there, there's going to be so many seeds, you're not even going to know what to do, okay? It's 500,000 seeds. So please write it down, what you want, and then type it in on what you would like to see come up. And then there's going to be several different kinds from several different breeders. And Just, look at them, see if you like them. It will say on there whether they're short or tall or indica or sativa. They give you all the information. So now you're at the point where you've gotten to the point where you're like, all right, I've decided my strain. I'm in the site. I've done this. I've looked up my strain. Now, okay, not a lot more times than not, most sites will accept credit cards, but sometimes they won't. So sometimes you have to use Bitcoin or a bank transfer or something like that. You may be able to get seeds from someone you know. Maybe you have some in a bag. Okay? But when it comes down to the first time doing it, listen, if you can get them free, we're going to go into that, and I'll tell you how to figure out then what to do with them, because when you have an auto flower, they're female. You're not going to have to worry about deciding whether or not you have the right plant, because there can be the wrong fucking plant, okay? Seriously. There's a boy and there's a fucking girl. You only want the damn girl. You don't want the boy, okay? You don't want his little fucking shit near your bitches at all. Ever. Unless you are planning on breeding it, okay, and making lots and lots of seeds. If that is your goal, to make lots of seeds, you need to not have any male plants in your arena, because them bitches come all over your bitches, and then you got nothing but seeds and no product. Seriously. Like, I can't put more stress on this. So when you go into order, you're going to see that you're going to have regular plants. It's going to say regular, female, and auto. Yeah. Okay. So you got your regular, female, and auto. So we got female, that is a female plant that is going to grow at a certain pace, and you have to keep up with that pace. Then you have regular seeds that you also have to keep up with its pace, but not only that, it could be male or female, and you don't want the males in your mix, so you have to then gauge whether or not that plant is a male or female before then going to put it into flower. Again, something that's going to come. Auto flower is what I'm telling you guys to go for. When it comes to doing it at home for your private sickness, for your private stuff, unless you grow to love the shit out of it, you really, auto flower is all you're going to need. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to the next level of, we bought an auto flower, and that's what we're waiting on for to come to us in the mail. I'm going to get into the female and the male secondary, okay? Because even if you got a female, if you decided to get regular seeds or a female seed, by the time you were to get it, you'll have enough information from me that by then you'll be okay. Like, with all this information, you'll be okay by the time you need to figure out anything else. How much time am I running on? Because I want to make sure I keep a good time on you guys. 36 minutes. Okay, perfect. I'm going to keep it to an hour, guys. Okay, so this way you're not overloaded. And anybody who goes further than today is more serious into looking into more of a possibility of not growing an autoflower. You actually want to grow like a plant and stay with it, and you want to be a part of that and all that, like I am. Okay, so now we have our auto plant. Okay, we've ordered our auto seeds. Please don't order anything less than 5. In that site, you'll be able to find them for $5 a piece, probably. depending on what the strain is, and you will see that some strains are much, much longer. I mean, much, they cost more. Okay, some seeds can cost like $20, $28. Seriously. So be good to yourself, please, and get yourself 5 seeds that are $5 a piece. I even think that they might have some that are $3 and $4. The lower grade they're going to be, but if you do what I tell you to do, you will prosper, okay? Just as long as you stick to what I tell you, this will be good for you. All right, so we've got our auto seeds. Now, auto seeds, and the reason I tell you this is because the auto seeds, even sativas, will only grow. You won't have to do any cutting or training. Okay, that's just kind of, it's cut it completely out of the mix. You could do fertilizers and castings, and if you're already someone who understands the ability to grow with the soil, then you may have your own mix that you already do. You can use that with the cannabis. You just want to make sure to give it its fertilizer from beginning to end. You will just wind up with a much better result. If you really gotta treat your cannabis plants like they're babies. Like, you gotta burp them motherfuckers and everything. Like, seriously. Okay? You gotta put the bib on. You gotta do all that crap. It's just absolutely necessary for you to... I mean, I can't even tell you the things that I've done for my plants. Because I run my plants. Okay, nobody else runs my plants. I run them. They just in the dwelling of a caregiver. Okay, so now we've got our seeds in the mail. Hey, Megan. And we're going to prepare our space. Okay, so if we're going with an autoflower, our space is not going to be any taller than probably like 4 feet. And to be honest, if the plant grows up into the light, it's very rare that they'll grow right up in and won't like bust out the sides. So here we have it. So now we're preparing for this. So now at this point, we have to prepare for their arrival. What you want to do is you want to get, if you're new to this and you have no green thumb whatsoever, get your bag of Miracle Grow with a 3-month supply of 3 to 4 month supply of food already in it. Okay, it's gonna be the easiest thing. And the bigger the pot, the bigger the plant. Does that make sense to you guys? So if you put a little plant in here, in this little box, say, okay, the roots can only grow as big as this box. Okay, but if you then take this box and put it in a box like this, then you got all this space. So, and still, if you have, here are your lights, here is your box. Normally, the plant will not grow up right into those lights. They'll usually grow to be right about there, especially if it's an autoflower. They usually will not grow up into the lights. If you are trying to keep a mini plant like this big, try to do indica. It's the best way you're going to do. Auto plants don't like to be cut. They don't like to be trained. If you have to cut them from hitting the lights, that's going to be a problem. Okay. The next thing you have to now decide is what lights you're going to use to take care of this plant. Okay, you need either a high intensity light, which is very costly on your electric bill, an LED light, which is way more expensive to buy but is way less on the energy bill. You could use CFL lights, you could use cob lighting. There's several different things that you can use. Okay, so say we're going to pretend we have 2 plants. Okay, we have 2 plants. And let's say we put them for a beginner. Let's do so that you guys can, I'm going to do a gallon. All right, let's go with a gallon sack or pot, depending on if you know materials or not. If you have no gardening skills, we're just going to go with a planting pot. I use plastic containers, very, very thick, durable, eco-friendly plastic containers, because the ground outside, the roots don't have anywhere else to go but in the ground. So for me, the air pots and the fabric pots, allow air to get to it, and it's something that's advanced rooting systems. And it really depends on who you are and what you're doing. So like, if you like to master your art of growing marijuana, then you're going to get into the rooting system. If you just want to grow your marijuana so that you have your supply, you're not going to care about any of this, any of the fluff that I'm going to give in future lessons, okay? You'll only want that if you want to learn future things. We're keeping this towards we getting an auto flower. We're doing this because I'm sick, and this is what I can grow. Okay, so now we got to figure out that lighting system. Get that lighting system in appropriately. The best area to put your plant in is 1, a room or tent that is white, or 2, a room or tent that is lined with mylar, let's say. I have grow tents, they're called. You can just go online onto eBay or Amazon. That's what my caregiver has, several tents, and 2 belong to me, and then there are others belong to other people. So I have they're both 7 feet tall. One is 5 by 5, and the other one is nearly 7 by 7. And the 5 by 5 is perfect. A closet, seriously guys, a closet is perfect. A pantry closet is superb for just growing 2 plants, okay, in your home, and you're sick, and this is what you're doing. Okay, so you get, let's say, we're going to use a closet, or you can get a tent, seriously, that is like tents that are like from this big to like way like 120 by 120, like big ass tents. So you can get anything from a little one to a big one. So, but you can just go with a regular pantry closet, you can put it in a cabinet, dude. Like, if you just clear out where you put your pots. Okay, because that's always the deepest cabinet that you have on the bottom there. And you can rig an LED light to the top of that motherfucker and grow yourself a little tiny plants like this. Like, I could, let me see, underneath there, I could do probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants I could get underneath there. Easy. Just throw, I'm trying to think. That might be a fucking good idea. So, all right, like literally I would put 2 LED lights up on the top, and I wouldn't have to get a high intensity because they're only, 2 feet tall. And then so your plant is only going to grow to be about, like a foot tall. You just want to try and make them as fat as possible so that when they harvest that you have enough. And that comes with, I looked at your comment and then my mind totally went. That comes with time. All right, so here's the thing with the smell. You can get cabinets that actually filter the smell for you. First off. 2, yeah, the tents work really nice. Tents, for me, the tents work beautiful. They're just, for an indoor, that's just the, there's a part of me that if I was going to do it in my house, I have a spare bedroom that I'm thinking, well, I would just put it white in there, but then I would have to worry about the outside light coming in and like a whole bunch of other shit that you get to worry about when you become an expert grower. So, but I am not having it in my house yet. So that's another thought. All right, so, but my mentor, he does white tents. I have Mylar, he does white. I wish I would have known that beforehand, just because I would have liked to do what he has, but I already have what I have, so I'm not gonna. They're not expensive. The tents, even the small ones, they're not expensive. Let me get back to that, yes, they do put out a lot of smell. Okay. If any of you who do your have cannabis in your house at any given point, okay, listen to me. At any given point, y'all can smell it, right? You smell that shit. That's the same way the plant's gonna be. So you have to make a ventilator. All right. So you would want to maybe like. If you're going to do the closet, you would have to like make sure that it is maybe smell proof and make a ventilator. Go online, look up ventilators for whatever space you plan to use. Yes, at the door. Hey, Desiree. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody just coming in. Yes, at the door you smell it. So that's your answer. So you have to put, yes, you can, oh my gosh. Oh, yes. It goes right through the AC ducts. Okay, as soon as you turn that thing on, it's going to come right up in your vents. So it doesn't matter, like it will go right through your venting system. So you really have to take that into consideration on when you're doing what you're doing. Now, On the normal, if the house is after the house has brought the smell into it, it will like regauge itself, and then it's not so bad, and most people don't really notice. But that's because they don't need to have a ventilation system. So if you need to have one, look up online, see for whatever closet space it is that you are using, what is good to ventilate for that. You will find something online that will give you, oh my God, Debbie. Did you? Hi, church people. Hey, listen, God gave us all the plants. I don't think that does the like Vatican and or everybody have I don't think they have a bad, like, is church against that? Because I'm not really sure. And depending on what kind of church it is. Like, because the church that I went to knew that I was a marijuana user. So I wonder. Okay, so you're going to take yourselves for whatever space it is, dishwasher space, wherever space you decide that you're going to use it. Just look that motherfucker up. I'm telling you, this shit is all over the internet. For every little cabinet that you could possibly find, there will be a system that you could put in that space. Okay, even to little tents. And the tents they can be sealed. They are sealable. Most tents are sealable when you buy a grow tent. Okay, usually it says hydroponic, and not everything is hydroponic. So even though it's a tent that says hydroponic, it's not just for hydroponics. You can use soil in there. All right, so now we figured out I'm just going to go with the kids that keep on looking over at my pantry. So let's figure we're going with the pantry. We figured out a ventilation system, which in that system, I actually could route the ventilator right along, because my, and it's perfect. The outside is right around the door, like right around that door, so I could take a hose and ventilate it right to the outside from there. So then it would keep it away from the inside of the house. The closet does not have a ventilating system in it. This particular closet has no ventilation. So whatever I create for it would be it. So I would get a hose and a fan that would blow out. It would go through the hose. You're going to see this online, and it will take it outside. Okay, I figured out my light. Okay, for me, what I use in mine is LED lights. Okay, I don't buy the expensive ones, but you got to make sure that you're buying a full spectrum. Full spectrum. Full spectrum. Okay, if you go with high intensity lights, then you're going for a high operation, and do your research on that. Okay, because those are insane. They need a ballast. They need a whole bunch of shit that my sick people who are watching this do not need. So seriously, just go on eBay, find yourself a 400-watt lamp that has full spectrum, and make sure it's not red. Make sure that it says green, yellow, red, blue, white. Green. Orange, maybe. Double chips are better than single chips. Triple chips are better than single and double chips when it comes to LED. But I just get the ones from China. They go up into my tent, and that's what is used. Okay, because I provide everything for them. That's just, the space is just provided for me. Just the square footage in which I put my tents in for my caregiver. Everything is up to me otherwise. So, all right, so I'm going to put an LED light, 400 watts. It's I'm gonna say it's a 2.5 by 2.5 space. I'm gonna put that 400 watts on my two plants. And my two plants, the lights are gonna be on for 18 hours, and then you're gonna turn the lights off for 6 hours, and you're gonna make sure to keep them on schedule, or else they're gonna die. Cannabis plants are finicky. They're assholes. They will die on you for nothing. If you break it, that's it, it's over. Like, seriously, be as careful as you can. Yes, get a timer. Get a switch that goes on and off. That's what I have, is a timer. But don't forget to check on those motherfuckers, because telling you right now, if you don't, and it's been 2 days and the lights went out, your plant's gonna be screwed up. Okay, so please make sure that you're keeping an eye on it as well. But they can do well in 18 and 6 hours, or the next one will be 16 and 8, 14. You can kind of go in between there with, yes, they need to drink. I'm getting there. They can go for, it's really up to you, but the more light, the better with them, because they're auto plants. They're just going to do exactly what they're meant to do, unless you break them, and then they won't do anything, or cut them, or do anything to them, because they're just fucking assholes. Okay, they've been genetically modified, so to say, to do what we want them to do, which is just grow 8 weeks and be done, and we can then smoke it. Not really, there's more after that. All right, so how are we on time? Oh, 59 minutes, I'm so close. All right, it's gonna be an hour and 15 minutes. All right, so we got our little plants here, okay, and we don't got our plants yet. We've got our soil, okay, we got our Miracle Grow, or if you're experienced, we got our pots, we got our 1 gallon pots, or 4 gallon. I could do in this closet, I could reasonably put in 2 5-gallon pots and still be able to grow, because it's probably like 8 feet tall. But you want to keep the lamps 3 feet away when you first are putting them under the lamps, and then you want them to grow up into the lamps, and then if they grow into the lamps, then you want to pull away. I'm gonna try and get everything in this whole thing. Okay, so what you're going to do is, when you get your seeds home, now we've got our thing, right? We got our pots, we got our soil, we got our lamps, we got our thing, we got our ventilation system. You want to have a dehumidifier that throws off heat in this situation, because you want to control the humidity in that area. It needs to be at a certain, like, 73-degree area, between 70 and 75 for auto plants. It's better to have them like at 73 humidified, in my experience. The fly is back to say, get the fuck off. It's my time to speak, man. My people, we're here. We need to tell you guys. All right, so we have the lamps. We have the 400-watt lamps. We have the 2 plants. We've got everything ready to go. We're just waiting for our seed to come in. Okay, so we've got all that. We've got that up and running and going. We got our dehumidifier. If that blows off heat, but you can control it, because you need to be able to control that. You don't want the heat to go lower than 60-ish. Well, is too cold. And like 95 is way, way, way too hot. But if you're getting like an LED light, in this case is what I'm talking about, you would get a 400 watt, and you would just do the 3 feet, and that's your, they don't have that same type of heat coming down. All right, so we got our, we put our cabinet together. We got everything going. We got our pots in. We got our lights in. We got our dehumidifier. If the dehumidifier does not do anything with the heat, you want to make sure to control the heat as much as you can in that area, and keep it around 75-ish. So 73 to 75 is good. And the humidity is actually within the same. I try and keep them both at 73, to be honest with you. And then when you get later in growing, when you're not doing an auto plant and you do something with other plants that I'm going to discuss in the next lesson, then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I have them do that come in later on. Okay, so you have your 3 months of food fed soil. You have your plants coming in. All right, so now I'm going to show you what a seed looks like. And you've probably all seen one, and I'm going to try and do the best I can to keep this on the paper. Damn, I knew I was going to do that. There it is. All right. Get that up right there. Damn notifications, please get out of my face right now. All right. I'm just showing the other camera. I'm always dropping. You could probably take a picture of this screenshot, a picture, and be able to bring it up, but you can look it up online. Now, this particular seed that I just showed you is a little bit of an immature seed. It came from one of my plants. It's very green. Okay, your plant, your seeds are gonna come more on the brownish with like with almost like a cheetah type designs on it. They're very interesting. That cannot be my kid. All right. To germinate, you're going to take a paper towel and you're going to take it over to the sink. You're going to wet it and then rinse it out. And I'm going to go and do that. I'm actually going to point you guys. I don't know if that's my kid or not. It sounds like it's my kid. All right, let me just point you over there. I'm going to point this one too. All right, so here's the paper towel. Okay. It's just a quarter piece, you know, like one of those ones that are like by the size. I'm going to take a new one because this one was on the table. Oh, and I just want to make sure I know where my seed is. I'm going to take a new one just because I have been rubbing that on the table. And I am going to soak it and then rinse it out. I'm just going to use whatever comes on first because usually it's like lukewarm when it comes on first. So that temperature is actually perfect. So at this point, I am just going to squeeze it really hard. Finish it dripping. Now I'm going to come back to you. Okay, so here it is. This is what it looks like. I'm actually going to germinate this seed for you so you can see. Not right now because it doesn't germinate in a second. All right, I don't have any glasses on so I can't see. Okay, so that's awesome, Debbie. My daughter's definitely coming in. Okay, so here's what it looks like now. Someone's got to be out there. someone of a part of the family because he's whining. All right, so here's what it looks like. It's damped. It's been squeezed. I don't know how you say that, but it's been squeezed out. Okay, now I'm going to put this up on here so you can visibly see. So I'm going to actually wet my finger, get the seed. I'm going to take the seed and I'm going to put it right in the middle there. I'm going to close it over top. I'm going to close it over the other top. Then I'm going to close both sides. So what I did was I turned it like this. And then I'm going to fold it over top, leaving my seed in the middle. Folding it over top. Again. Leaving my seed that you'll be able to see in the middle. See that? All right, let me just get my plastic bag, which I did not accommodate myself with. Okay, I'm going to take a plastic bag. I'm going to put it in the plastic bag. You're just going to write it, seal it. You don't have to go like total airtight or anything like that. But as you see, I don't have much air in there. And you just want to take it and put it in a dark place. So I'm going to put it in this box right here. Within a couple of days, you should have an embryo. You're going to open that and let it breathe twice a day. So when you get up, all right, Debbie, I know I'm running overtime, so sorry. All right, I said 15 more minutes and I'm almost there, guys. Okay, so now you're going to open and close that until you find the embryo, until the time where it opens and you see there's an embryo there. Now, what you can do is, it's going to look more like a sperm, really. You could let it go back in and cook for or grow for another 24 hours before you get ready to put it in the soil. But not necessary. As soon as it sprouts, you can go ahead and take the little taily part and put that in the top of your soil. And you're going to take the soil and you're going to brush it over. And then you're going to take a squirt bottle and you're going to squirt that area 30 times every day until it's this big. And then you'll be able to start to water it. And then from then on, if you have your Miracle Grow in your, what I would do in that area is put 5 gallon because they would be bigger and they would be, the bigger the plant, the better the harvest, regardless of training and fertilizers and all of that stuff. If it's tall, it will grow a decent amount. Then you just make sure that when you put your finger in your soil, that if you can get your finger down to up to here and it's dry, then it's time to water. Or just lift your pot. The very first time that you can actually water the entire pot of soil When the plant gets to be just around this big, you can water the entire soil to see what it feels like, and then just feel the pot. If it's light, it needs food. If it looks like it needs water, you just need to do water after that. And then you do 18-16 cycle is the best for autoflowers. And then you just run it out until it comes 6 to 8 weeks. The breeder will give you an idea of 6 to 8 weeks. Sometimes they run a little bit longer, especially if it's a sativa, may run to like 12 weeks, but like won't go past that because it's an autoflower. You cannot clone them. You can't do anything with them. You can't make babies with them. You can't screw them up. Like it's really like, if you do everything that you need to do for this plant on those simple things, and as long as you don't break it and cut it, you're solid. Okay. And then you have to cut it and dry it and do all those things. And since y'all are just learning this part, you're not to drying yet, so we're not going to talk about that today. But you have to cut it and dry it and cure it afterwards. So there is a process afterwards. So if you think that you're going to like take it off of the vine and smoke it, you're not. It's not going to happen. You can. And it still does work, but it doesn't work as effectively, and drying it and curing it actually makes it what it becomes. It's the same thing when you, it's like a fine alcohol or wine or fine wine or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You are so welcome. Is my AC on? No. And I meant to put the fan back on me, and I didn't. And I just went teaching, and normally, like, if I'm overheated, it will like drench, and it hasn't been doing that. So I'm melting too bad. I don't feel that. I know that I can see it, but I don't feel it until it's in my eyes. You guys with fibro have that? Like, I don't, like, it takes a certain temperature to before I get like, right now it's 86 in outside, something I'm gonna put the air on tonight, but I hadn't put it on yet because I don't know, that's just the way my body works. I have 2 seeds. Let me show you something really cool. All right, so that is the story. That's the whole story from beginning to end for an auto plant, and how to buy an auto plant and how to do all that. I'm gonna like cut out this video over here. So if you have any questions, just put it down in the comments. Please subscribe, follow.